To Emma and Ray's surprise, she smiles and closes the device as Norman returns from the forest. Only from atop the wall, peering over the other side, did he uncover the truth. Between the wall and the forest of land, there is a large cliff that they cannot hope to overcome. Norman gives them a ray of hope by pointing out that the complex of farms or plants is shaped like a hexagon, with the HQ on one side and a bridge across the cliff on the other. But he won't be joining them because he is the next child to be abducted. The scene of Norman's farewells is tense. All of the kids are either crying or barely holding it together. But no one is more upset about his approaching departure than Emma, who tries to hand him the tracking device breaker. Norman provides her with the tracker breaker and tells her not to give up before they separate ways. Norman and Mom Isabella proceed to the gate, and she directs him to the waiting room. Emma and the others never see him again. Norman's death has devastated Emma and Ray. Even with Dawn and Gilda's help, the two of them appear to be losing hope. Ray informs them that he is tired and no longer cares. Emma's persistent depression is seen by both the little kids and Mom Isabella. Ray's ship date arrives, and time passes. Emma awakens to find him in the chapel. It is at this point that both of them admit that they have been acting in such a way around Mom Isabella that she believes they have given up. Ray and Emma discussed how burning down the house might be the greatest option for them to flee. He then shows Emma all of the oil cans he had concealed throughout the years before dumping oil all over himself, scaring the crap out of Emma. Ray described how he had been anticipating the day when he would end his life so that Mom Isabella could rescue him while Emma and the other orphans could flee. Ray, now 12, starts a fire when the clock strikes midnight. Emma sprints towards Ray. A scream is heard shortly after. Mom Isabella follows the commotion until she notices Emma lying on the ground, desperately shouting out Ray's name. Mom Isabella scans her radar and spots Ray inside the raging fire. She tries to put out the fire in the hopes of relocating Ray's brain. When Mom Isabella is going to tell Emma to leave, she turns around to see that she has already vanished. Mom Isabella then uses radar to seek for Emma again, only to pick up the signal from Emma's transmitter from her injured ear in the bathroom. Emma then goes into the wilderness with the other orphans. Dawn explains to Ray how Gilda and Emma recruited the elder orphans for the escape plan. Ray recalls Emma slapping him and preventing him from burning himself. Toma and Lannion describe how they entered the cafeteria and wrapped meat, Anna's chopped hair, and Ray's garments as a decoy. Emma tells Ray that Norman told her about Ray's plot to burn himself and had arranged a counter-plan for her that suggests they were already planning an escape. Mom Isabella begins to chuckle as she stands outside the house, watching it as it burns to the ground and confidently proclaims that she will return all of the children. Phil appears behind Mom Isabella, pushing her dress before she can make a move. She is taken aback when she realizes the child's presence. Emma notifies Ray of a change in her intentions as the kids begin their ascent up the wall. Rather than rescuing everyone tonight, she's leaving the little ones behind and promising to return for them before their various shipment dates arrive. That's why, as the home burns down, little Phil is inside with Mom Isabella. Emma recalls leaving Phil in charge of informing the other kids and preparing for her return. They do not cross the cliff by the obvious bridge. Dawn instead heaves a stone across a narrower section of the cliff, and the rope successfully wraps around a tree. He zips across and instructs the other kids to follow suit. At the same moment, Phil tries to distract Mom Isabella as the other kids cross the street. Despite this, Mom Isabella makes it to the jump site, only to discover that Emma is the last to cross. Emma gives her old mother one last stubborn glance and says farewell before ziplining across. In her moment of defeat, we find that Ray is Mom Isabella's son, and Mama appears to be pleased that her cherished children outwitted her. Mama wishes them luck now that they've made it past the wall and cliff. The kids continue escaping through the dark forest during the night. However, they're having a hard time stumbling and falling as they're being chased by demon monsters. But to Emma, this really feels like a real game of tag. She thinks to herself how freedom is beautiful yet so cruel. When the day comes that they enter the forest, they see how beautiful it is. It's nothing they've seen before. The one they remember is the one they've only seen at the farm they have just escaped from. This forest is inhabited by fantastical life that glows brighter than day, something they've only read in books back at the house. Emma tells them to take a break since they've been walking for quite some time. But they still have to be cautious because they don't know what could be in the forest. The people at the farms are also going to look for and come after them, so they need to leave soon. During their break, they decide to head southeast where they will meet with William Minerva, a man who is helping them escape. Night falls, and some demons from the farm are on their trail. They are sniffing around until they discover that the children have gone southeast and pursue them. The children are still walking in the forest when they hear some noise. A swarm of fireflies comes flying out of nowhere. Emma realizes this is bad news. She yells at them to run when suddenly a demon monster appears and chases them. Ray separates himself from the other children to divert the monster away from them. He does great at being chased around by the monster when the monster suddenly gets clapped by the demons from the farm. The demons are still looking for the children who are waiting for Ray to return to them. Ray is then chased by the demons who are trying to capture him. They successfully surround him. Ray is exhausted from running. He doesn't want to give up, but in the end, he collapses. Before the demons think that they have a chance to take him, a hooded figure on a demon horse appears out of the blue. The figure snatches Ray away from the demons and gets out of there using smoke bombs to lose them. On the other hand, when Ray takes too long to return, The children start to worry. Suddenly, a female hooded figure appears in front of them. She tells them to head in a certain direction, and after being reluctant, the children follow her. Later, Ray wakes up from rest at a cave-like place. He meets up with Emma and the other children who have also received care from the two hooded demons. The two hooded demons join all of them. They introduce themselves to Emma and Ray as Sanju and Mujika. Mujika tells them that they do not eat humans, so Emma and Ray, who seem worried still, should be calm. This puts Emma and Ray at ease for that moment, but the two of them are still somewhat suspicious of the demon's kindness. Mujika tells them to help themselves with some food as the others are doing as well. All of them sit and enjoy the food together. Later at night when everyone is asleep, Emma and Ray go to Sanju, who is making tea. Sanju welcomes them. He realizes that they want to ask him something and he tells them to go ahead. Emma begins by apologizing for not trusting him and Mujika earlier. Sanju understands that it's normal for humans to be suspicious of every demon because it's true that demons eat humans. He tells them that demons view humans as somewhat of a delicacy, especially their brains. It makes sense for prey to fear its predator. However, Sanju tells them that he and Mujika don't eat humans for religious reasons and don't agree with most of the things that the other demons are doing because of their faith. He explains that the only reason he saved them is because he was curious. He hasn't spoken to a human for a long time because the only way to even see a human nowadays is to visit the farms. He then says that he knows that Emma, Ray, and the other children are descendants of the people who were left behind when a promise between humans and demons was made. He begins to tell them the story of what happened to the world. He tells them that the world has always been inhabited by humans, demons, and other fantastical creatures. Humans have always been prey to demons for a very long time. However, that started to subside due to humans fighting back, which led to war between the two species. In the end, they made a treaty where they would live in separate worlds. They made a promise that demons wouldn't hunt humans anymore. However, some humans would stay behind and be bred on farms to sustain the demons who would crave a human occasionally. And so it was for over 1,000 years. Emma and Ray think for a second and decide that they are delighted to hear the news. If there is another world where humans live freely without being hunted by demons, there is hope. They want to find the gate that separates the human and the demon world and cross over. But Sanju tells them that it's impossible because that would be breaking the promise the humans and the demons made. Emma and Ray don't care for that, though. They want their freedom. Sanju tells them to go to bed and promises to help them exit the forest the next day. The next day, Sanju and Mujika decide to help teach the children some basic survival skills, like cooking, gathering edible plants and water, defending themselves, and using medicinal herbs for injuries and such. They do this to ensure that the children will be able to survive without them and make it to the end. This all goes very well. And the next day, the children are ready to depart. They move out and walk through the forest to get to a wasteland. It's big and bright and it looks very safe. This is where they'll start their journey to find William Minerva, out of the forest where there are predators lurk at every corner. Sanju tells them that they'll be safe for the most part because demons hardly go to the wasteland. But if they encounter a demon on the way, they should run. If they can't run, they should fight, aiming for the eye to deal the most damage. Before the kids leave, Mujika gives Emma an eye-shaped pendant for protection. The children hide in an abandoned temple in another secluded area of a demon town for a year. There, they practice all the skills they were taught by Mujika and Sanju. They take care of themselves and always keep tabs on Grace Fieldhouse using a radio they found at a bunker left by William Minerva. Emma, Ray, and two other older children, Dawn and Gilda, go to a nearby market where the demons buy food, disguised as demons. They always manage to make it back with produce and such. But the food is never enough to last a week, so the four older children have to constantly infiltrate the demon town to get more food. The next day, two other children decide to tag along with the four, even though it could be dangerous since they're small. While at the market, the two smaller children marvel at the sight. They've never seen so many demons at once before, living their lives as if they were human. They walk behind the four older children while looking around and accidentally bump into some demons. The two children drop their food, and when the demons try to return it to them, a slight breeze of wind washes them, leading to the demons getting a whiff of their human smell. The demons begin to wonder where this delicious smell is coming from and the children panic. This leads the demons to conclude that the smell is coming from the two children. The children start running away immediately and the two demons chase them. The four older children join the two younger ones and run away with them. It seems that the two demons are the only ones who have noticed that the six children are human and run after them quietly. After some time, the children manage to lose the demons around the corner. Emma and Ray send Dawn, Gilda, and the others home while they stay behind to deal with the issue. They do their best to dribble the two demons using the town's structure to their advantage until they lose them. But in the end, Emma and Ray get cornered by another group of demons just as they think the trouble is over. The two try to run away, but they reach a dead end with another demon waiting for them there. When the two demons from before come back to find Emma and Ray, they get taken out immediately by the new demons. This makes the two children extremely anxious about what is about to happen to them. That's when one of the demons calls out to Emma by name and takes off its mask. This reveals that it's not a demon but Norman, one of the children who was shipped out from Grace Fieldhouse. He's alive and well, disguised as a demon, prompting Emma and Ray to reveal their faces too. Emma rushes to hug Norman with tears in her eyes. She can't believe that he's still alive, but she's happy that he is. Ray joins in too, and the three of them bask in the reunion. The other guys disguised as demons reveal themselves too. They're Norman's companions. Emma and Ray take Norman to meet the other children. Everyone is happy to see that he's alive and well. Norman is also happy to see the children alive and well. They all hug each other. When that's done, Emma tells Norman that they left the other children back at the farm but plan to go and get them. Gilda asks Norman what happened to him and where was he all this time. Norman opens his robe to reveal a mark that belongs to a facility called Lambda 7214. A site where they conduct experiments. Norman explains that he was shipped to this farm where the only thing they did was human experiments on all the children there. They did this to find a way to mass produce human meat that would be considered high grade. Unfortunately, the experiments made the children develop abnormalities in their muscles, nervous system, and senses. One of the side effects was that some of the test subjects would develop enough strength to take down demons easily, just like one of Norman's companions did earlier. Emma asks if Norman was also experimented on, worrying that he might also be experiencing the side effects. Luckily, Norman says that he didn't get experimented on. He just took some tests, so he's fine. They ask him how he managed to escape the facility, and he tells them that he was helped by someone who supported William Minerva. He escaped with some of the children there and ended up destroying the place. Unfortunately, the ally of William Minerva was found out and got clapped, leaving Norman and his companions to escape on their own. It's unfortunate, but Norman tells them that he did get a hold of the files with data on how to make a substance that can make demons degenerate. The children don't understand why he would, so he reveals the nature of the demons and why they eat human meat. Demons degenerate when they don't eat human meat. They must eat human meat to preserve their forms and their intelligence, especially if they eat the brains of humans. The reason the children were made to take tests was to develop their brains. This is also why demons come in all shapes and forms like humans. They are what they eat. If they don't do this, they could lose their forms, intelligence, and revert back to monsters who aren't intelligent enough to think about running farms. They would become like the monsters who run in the forest, mindlessly, and eventually clap each other themselves. Because of the data that Norman has, he can increase the production of the substance that makes the demons degenerate, have them attack each other, and eventually go extinct. At the moment, he has enough to wipe out the nearby town and then move on to the whole demon world. Norman confesses to have been inspired by Emma, who was compassionate about their freedom. She wanted them to live freely and away from the monsters, in a paradise of their creation. Norman wants to create that paradise for all of the children by doing away with all the demons. When the other children hear this plan, they become happy and rejoice that they won't have to die at the hands of the demons. They are happy that they won't have to worry about surviving, and that they will live together with the children left at the farms. However, Emma doesn't seem to like the idea. Her smile drops, and she tenses up as she listens to Norman and the others enjoy their glimpse of hope. Yet, Emma pretends to be happy in front of the other children to put them at ease. Norman leaves and gives Emma his address if she ever needs to find him. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.